It's Super Videos back at you for another video. So we have some new portrait teaser images for the second half of season 7. If you remember, we got something similar to this for the first half of season 7. We actually got two types of portrait images for the first half. We got the black and white, and then we also got the bloody look portraits, which were pretty cool. But this time it looks like for the second half they're releasing more images like that, which is very interesting. And these images are actually pretty epic, so let's go through them one by one. So first we have a portrait image of Sasha, which is pretty cool. Now, just like all of the images that are going to be coming up, the style is like some sort of broken glass with some blood splatter. So as you can see, we have Sasha here with this massive blood splatter across her body. Now this could indicate that she's one of those characters that's in the chopping block for the second half of season 7, which could indicate that she may be the next death for the second half of season 7. But other than that, there's nothing else that we can get from this image. It's just a cool teaser image, and the only interesting thing that pops up is the massive blood splatter across her body. Then we have Tara. Now, same with Tara, there's this massive blood splatter across her body as well. So it's interesting that these two characters have this type of style. The other ones are different than these ones, so it's very cool. Then we have Rosita. Now, of course, we do see some blood splatter on her image as well with this broken image style. But unlike the other two, the blood splatter is much smaller. Other than that, there's nothing else that we can gather from this. It's just a cool teaser as well. Then we have Aaron. As you see, the same style applies, and there isn't really anything to talk about for Aaron. Then we have Michonne. Now for Michonne, the blood splatter is pretty interesting because it's right on the katana, so that's pretty cool. It's actually an epic image. I love this image of Michonne. And then we have an image of Carl. Now this image is pretty interesting because if you take a look at the line of the broken glass, you can see that it's going through his body, and one half of his body is like black and the other half is just normal. So it's like half of Carl is in the dark side and half of him is in the bright side. So it's pretty cool. And if that's indicating what's going to be coming up with Carl in the second half, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with him. Then we have Maggie. This image is basically the same from the first half. It's not different. It's the same image. They just have blood splatter on her and they added the broken effect to her image. But her image is basically the same thing as we got in the first half. Then we have Rick. I believe his picture is also the same. They just added the blood splatter and the broken effect on him, which is cool. Then we have Morgan. Now for Morgan, the image with Morgan is very interesting because if you look, his body is like broken into 3 pieces. So it's like there are 3 pieces of Morgan. It's like he's conflicted in what he's going to do and in what character he's going to become or what he wants to be, which actually makes sense. So from these 3 pieces, one piece is the badass Morgan that kills everyone. The other piece is most likely the all life is precious side of Morgan. And the third piece is probably the Morgan we're going to be seeing in the second half of season 7, most likely by the end of the season. And that is a Morgan that will kill if he has to, but he's not too far gone like he was previously. So it's going to be interesting what happens with Morgan, and if this image is any indication of where his character is going, I'm loving where they're taking his character. Then we have Daryl, much like Maggie and Rick. The image is actually the same as it was in the first half. They just added the blood effect and the broken glass effect. Then we have Father Gabriel. I think this is a new image of Father Gabriel, which is pretty cool. And as you see, there's blood on his hands. That's one thing I noticed. And that could indicate that Father Gabriel has blood on his hands. If you remember back in season 6, when they attacked Negan's compound, he did kill someone, but it seems like he may be going that route again. And he may have to kill someone else again. So that's cool. Then we have Negan with his classic style with Lucille and the blood splatter on Lucille and around Lucille. But what's interesting is Negan is not laughing anymore. He doesn't have that smirk anymore. He doesn't have that smile anymore, which indicates that he is not happy and things are going to go down that are not aligned with what he likes, which is basically aligned with Rick and the gang rising up. So that's cool. That's it for these images. Share your opinions in the comment section below about what you think about these images and if there's any hints or foreshadowing or Easter eggs that you see in these images. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll be back for another video.